When you're in the top 10 lists for new vehicle sales, you know you're doing something right. You really got your recipes right. Ford's latest offerings are on the money. They are really on point. They've got a couple of fantastic vehicles out, but none is holding their flag much higher than the diminutive little Fiesta. Now, it really helps that the Ford Fiesta is a good-looking car. I didn't care much for the 4th generation, but the 6th and 7th generation, I think they look wonderful. Now, it's got this gaping mouth up front, and with the facelift, they've opened up that trapezoidal grille. It ties it in with the rest of the Ford range. I think it's a brilliant cue. It's something that the rest of the hatches on the road don't have. Now, it's also got all kinks and curves in all the right places, and it's retained the high tail light arrangement at the back as well, which isn't only aesthetically pleasing, but it's safe too. The little Fiesta isn't new, so why are we reviewing it? Well, that's because we're sitting here with the 1-litre Ecoboost in an Ambiente trim. That is your entry-level trim, but it is now fitted with Ford's dual-clutch transmission power shaft. So it's an automatic entry-level 1-litre Ecoboost motor, and the motor is really fantastic, and the drive overall is great. But the gearbox is not. Sadly, the gearbox seems to suffer from bipolar disorder. One moment it'll be fine, doing exactly what you want, and the next it's just going to come lunging at you with a butcher's knife. It's really unpredictable. It's going to shift up or down and get a little bit confused mid-corner or in an overtaking maneuver. Now, it's got a sport mode, but that doesn't give you flappy pedals behind the steering wheel. In fact, you don't have any of those. All that you've got is this little rocker switch down here at the bottom, and that doesn't work too well either. Because you're going to change it here, select a gear up, and it's going to change on the dashboard, but not on the gearbox. A little sleepy in that sense. Now, I don't quite understand why you'd want a dual clutch transmission with its lightning quick shifts on an entry-level economy model like this. It doesn't quite make sense. You'd be better off with an ordinary automatic. But I don't think it's the gearbox that's really at fault here. I think it's the programming. And I think that with a bit of a software update so that it better matches the 1-litre Ecoboost motor, the combination could work well. Right now, they're just not communicating. They're not seeing eye to eye. Now, don't get me wrong. The Fiesta's a fantastic little car. It's beautifully designed. It drives well. And this Ecoboost motor is going to produce 74 kilowatts and 170 newton meters of torque. It's a wonderful motor. It's just let down by the gearbox. That's all. Now, the Ambiente Auto with a 1-litre Ecoboost retails for 204,900 Rand. But if you absolutely don't need the auto option, rather go for the Ecoboost Trend. Same motor with a little more power, slightly better trim level, and of course a fantastic manual gearbox. Then you can really enjoy this little Fiesta.